Hey, what's up? It's Stephanie Liu, and welcome to Showrunner Season 2, live selling strategies and secrets to help you turn browsers into buyers. Come on through, let me know where you're tuning in from, and friends, let's get started. Come in, say what's up. Let's do this. 'Cause it's finally, yeah, finally, yeah. Friends, I have been up since like 5 a.m. preparing for today's show because I saw the email blast that Katie sent out and I was like, Stephanie's going to show you all these things. And I was like, yo, then I'm going to show you all those things. So having said that, shout out to the crew that is here live. We've got one more thing before you go podcast. Hello from Phoenix. Hello. Thank you so much. Happy to have you here. We've got Iographer in the house too. Hold up, wait. Iographer, howdy. I'm in San Gabriel, California. We got West Coast in the house. I need a Snoop Dogg sound effect, that's for sure. All right, good. Yes, Valerie Pinkston is here for episode number 2. That's dose, baby. Because, you know, in the first episode, we just threw it down. That's what we did. We had some fun. All right, who else we got over here? We got Jennifer Navarrete. Ready for some Stephanie goodness. You know you gotta love that good. All right, got Alec. Hello, friends. Oh, snap. We got Germany in the house. Welcome. All right. Oh, we also got Las Vegas. I got my girl Rocky Nashville in here. Woo, feels good. All right. Y'all, we're going to have some fun today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me remind you, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to the show because there's only one place that this actually airs and it's on Ecamm's YouTube channel, okay? It's not even on my stuff, so you know that this is the place that you got to be. So it's ecamm.tv/live selling. That's where you're going to get notifications on your calendar to show up live because the questions that you have, Valerie, Rocky, the rest of the crew, you know I'm going to answer them in real time. See, this is why I only drink one coffee on the day of Showrunner. Because you know I'm already going to pop off, right? We also got Mr. Camera Junkie in here in the house. So let me remind you what we have lined up for you. Let's do this. So let's do May. All right. So last week we did the future of live selling. This time we're getting started with live selling. So yes, when we talk about templates and all the things, that's definitely what you're going to get today. Good. Then next week we're going to go into how to script your live selling stream. I'm going to give you a little bit of that for a preview today. So Doc Rock, if you are in the audience, you want to make sure that you get your affiliate links ready. I just had to throw that up there. All right, good. And then May 26th is the live selling tips producers checklist, because as I mentioned before in the previous episodes, this is very different from live producing for yourself. Now you have multiple people in the arena. You have the client, you may have the digital marketing agency, PR team, and then you may also have a TV show host, key opinion leader, and all the things. Good? Great. And then in June, because I'm here with you for 6 more weeks. Yeah, this is the second episode. So then we have 6 more episodes in the hopper for you. So then June 2nd is Live Selling 2022, trends and what you can expect. Because at that point, we're already halfway into 2022. I give you several case studies, all the good things. And then June 3rd, dang, right after, we're going to do an Ecamm live selling extravaganza with Press and Sew, show you exactly how to use Facebook Live shopping with Ecamm. So we'll show you behind the scenes and how you as a content creator can really promote your merch and all the things, right? Good. June 9th is live selling producer, pricing your services. I mean, dang, you need to put like a big fat star by that for sure. And then Showrunner live selling roundtable on workshop. Basically what that means is that I'm inviting a couple of my brand partners, my friends, the homies, showrunners just like you. We're going to have a roundtable discussion to talk about, hey, show me what's going on with these different platforms, all the things, because I want to learn all about it. Cool? All right. Full Chance is in the house. Hey, What's up? We got stressed out, stress-free. Hello, aloha. Rocky Nashville from Las Vegas saying, we love Stephanie. Coffee isn't needed. She always brings the energy. I'm telling you, I was like, ooh, pace yourself, pace yourself, pace yourself. Because there is so much that I want to share with you. Facebook live shopping as life happens. So I was like, what? Wow, yes. I'm going to show you exactly how to do all of that. So again, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you head on over to ecamm.tv/live selling. That's where you're going to get all of the calendar notifications for the show, the templates, because I'm going to throw a lot at you and we're going to have a lot of fun. All right, so having said that, let's go ahead and get started. Boom, boom, boom. Here, let's talk about live shopping and explain it to you because there are those of you that weren't here in the first episode and I want to make sure that you're all good to go. Okay? All right, so live shopping, as we like to explain it, it's not your mama's QVC. No, it's not, okay? And let me explain what that means when I say it's not your mama's QVC. What that means is that you're co-creating a social experience between you and the consumer. And I say that when you are a content creator, when you are the show host, because you know, and I know, that when we're live streaming, we are engaging in real time. Your mama's QVC was pretty much like, hey, we have our run a show, but then we will only select callers, right? They screen them, whereas your comments can come up at any time. And there are certain things that Paul Duncan will say, like, hey, put a Q in front of your question, so that way I know that it's a question, yeah? Good. The other thing about live shopping, when I pitch this over to clients, is that you have to master audience engagement. Because more often than not, what happens is that when you're working with a live shopping platform, you could actually see sales in real time. And so when you are demoing a product, hello, Sony ZV-E10, when they're asking you questions like, hey, can you flip it out? Can you do this? Can you smell it? Whatever the hell, right? You're mastering audience engagement and you can know whether or not your call to action, your metaphors, your stories, how you're handling sales objections is actually increasing the number of sales that you're having right then and there. Cool? Good. Shout out to Tanya Smith who's saying, love the calendar notifications. I know, right? Everyone needs to have this. And P.S., by the way, when you're producing a show, you want to encourage your audience to block out their calendars. Okay? So again, when we talk about live shopping, you're mastering audience engagement. You're also leaving room to make the show fluid and dynamic. This is very helpful because more often than not, when we talk about home shopping network or QVC with clients, they think that it needs to run on a very, very tight schedule. You can't answer all the questions and all the different things. And so they leave a lot of engagement and improv, just kind of like on the cutting room floor. This is your opportunity to really build that audience engagement. Because like I said, like I know that Fulgens and Valerie and Rocky, they were here in the first episode because that's what we do. We're building that relationship week after week. The other thing about live shopping is that it requires minimal investment. Yeah? Minimal investment. And I say this with love because I know that there's a lot of us in the Ecamm community where we love our gear. Don't get me wrong. I love my gear too, right? But when we're working with our clients, we have to let them know what's the difference that's going to make the difference. And generally what that means is you have to separate the wants from the needs. Like you need an Ethernet cable. You need a really good camera. You need a really good mic, right? You could want to have a Rodecaster Pro if you wanted to, but it's not always necessary for the production. And so when you're working with clients, you want to make that distinction as you're working with them. So it's a minimal investment. You have the must-have gear. And when I say must-have gear, don't overcomplicate it when you are working with clients, because later on we're going to talk about, is this going to be in a studio? Is this going to be at a showcase? Is this at a retail location? Is this a home studio? You want to make sure that they have the gear necessary to produce a successful broadcast. You don't want to overwhelm them with gear acquisition syndrome and all the things. Yeah? Great. Then the minimal investment as well, like I said before, it could be done in an at-home studio. There are different things that you can do where you can leverage B-roll, video testimonials, all the different things to make a live shopping experience really, really engaging. and make it a lot of fun for your viewers. Yeah? Good. Here's the other thing that I want you to know about this too, is as far as live shopping, because Discord for Creators just hopped in and I was like, hey friend, how are you? Okay. When we talk about live shopping as well, it's not necessarily a TV presenter. It's not necessarily an actor per se that's just reading off of a teleprompter. What we all know, P.S. by the way, if you don't know this, I'm an ad agency veteran, so marketing is definitely my wheelhouse, is that most people generally purchase things or they do impulse buying based off of key opinion leaders and influencers because they have that FOMO effect. It's very personality driven, okay? Live shopping is very different from, let's say, your standard Instagram influencer who has like staged photos, who knows how to have like the best lighting and all those different things. When you're doing live shopping, it's important for you to have a key opinion leader, or KOL as we call them, or even an influencer that knows how to sell, right? That knows how to sell and isn't icky about it whatsoever because it's something that they're absolutely passionate about, okay? So that's something to be mindful of as well when you're talking about live shopping and what's the difference, okay? You also want to know that it's less hard selling and more social proof. So when I say it's not like buy, right? It's really engaging with your audience and answering their questions. And it's people also talking to each other. Like I'm looking at the comments right now and Anna and Valerie, they're having a whole conversation, right? But they're going to answer questions with each other and all the different things. The other thing about a live shopping experience that we as producers, we as showrunners have to be mindful of is that we need to know what is the key messaging. What's the hero of this live shopping production? Because more often than not, generally what happens is that I'll have a client who probably made this investment. They signed a contract on the dotted line, like I'm going to use this live shopping platform, and they get roped into doing a series, like 4 series or blah, 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 blah. Or maybe they had a very, very tight budget and it was a big production cost for them just for the live shopping platform. And so they want to mention as many SKUs, as many products and all the different things there. And more often than not, it loses the key messaging for the audience. So that's something that we as producers have to be mindful of as well. Cool? All right. And then the run of show also needs to include audience interaction. So as I said before, it's not your mama's QVC in the sense where they screen the callers and all that stuff. It's in your run of show, you want to have a point in time where you could do live Q&A, where questions can come through. This is where it's always amazing to have moderators just like Paul Duncan that come in and, they save the day, they drop in the comments, like Ecamm's in here too, and they're dropping the comments as necessary. The run of show also is going to include a product demonstration. So you as a producer, you have to think about, okay, so how is that going to look like? How is that going to sound like? What kind of gear do they need to have in order to do that? And if it gets really complicated based on what the actual product is, then you may just want to have like a B-roll video for that. Good? Okay. So let me put a star by this one. Here's a question. For Facebook Live shopping, should you go free and open to all or paid events? Wow, that question came in early. I would say if it's not a ticketed event, you think of it as, do you need to pay to go into this admission, right? So I think of like live auctions. Maybe you'll have to pay to enter into a live auction because you're going to have hors d'oeuvres and all these things and these freebies, and then an opportunity to bid on a live auction item. I think for Facebook Live shopping, depending on what you are promoting, do you want to have a price for admission? And if you do, then that's where you're going to do a paid event, and then they have that exclusive access to go into that. So let's say maybe you have like Ecamm Fam, and it's exclusive access only for VIP members. Then you could do a paid event and have that type of entrance in there. But honestly, if you want to get a larger pool and get more people into buying, raise your revenue, raise your revenue, raise your revenue, then I would say leave it open. Why would you limit yourself? It's really up to you as far as that goes. All right. So let me see if there's any other questions that popped up, because I just threw a lot of good stuff at you right now. Okay, that was the first one that I saw. Let's go back over here. So again, when we talk about live shopping explained, it's very different from live streaming in general, because the overall purpose is to sell something, is to generate revenue. And that doesn't mean to say that your first episode can't just be for brand awareness and then you lead them into the second episode, where you're actually going to sell something. Yeah. So live shopping explained, that's something that you want to definitely be mindful of. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is, as you're getting started and thinking about doing a live shopping stream, you're going to have this conversation of, should this be in-house? Should their marketing team or their creative team, their video team, should they be responsible for this, or should it be a production house? Let's talk about the difference, because honestly, I want to prepare you for when you have these conversations with potential clients. When clients are thinking like, hey, we could have our in-house team do it because they learned like, oh, you just click a few buttons and boom, you go live. And it's like, not so fast. Not so fast, right? Because we want to prevent emotional damage with our clients when it comes to live streaming.
Emotional damage.
So let's be honest here. When you have an in-house team and they're relatively new when it comes to live streaming, there is a learning curve. Yeah. So for those of you that were just like, Facebook live shopping, that's a thing. Yeah, that's a learning curve in and of itself, even in understanding how to set up Facebook shops, right? What are the guidelines? What are you allowed to sell? What are you not allowed to sell? How do you do shipping? How do you do SKUs and all that other stuff? There's a learning curve in all of that. There's also a learning curve as far as understanding how to do a run of show. More often than not, these in-house teams, they don't have any dedicated time to really sit down and analyze what a successful run of show looks like, sounds like, feels like. Yeah. Then in an in-house team, sometimes there's budget constraints. They might not have the gear, because let's be honest, sometimes we still have clients showing up into Zoom meetings and Google meetings using those built-in cams. And then they're going to say, can we do a live shopping event with this? Ooh, had to catch myself, with a janky camera. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to be fit. I'm cracking up because, see, thank you so much for recognizing that we have Uncle Roger just showed up on the show.
Emotional damage.
This is what we are saving our clients from: emotional damage when they are live streaming for the very, very first time. And Rocky knows exactly what I'm talking about when we're built-in cams, right? Because when you're a producer, you're putting your name on that event, right? When I am producing an event, I want to share that with my colleagues. I want to put that in my sizzle reel. I want to put a screenshot of that in my press kit, my media kit, my pricing, my landing page, all the things, social media, that digital confetti, to really have it out there, right? So say no to built-in cams. All right, so going back, no janky camera. I love it when you guys come through and you're just like, did Stephanie really say that? I really did say that. Okay, so sometimes with an in-house team, they have budget constraints because they only thought about, oh, this is how much it costs to just live stream on this channel, or this is the budget just for the software as a service live streaming platform. And then oftentimes when I'm working with in-house teams, or if they're thinking about an in-house team, there's this emphasis on perfection, right? Because if they're experimenting for the very first time, they want it to go right and everything has to be by the second, by the book and all the things, and they want to play it safe. And more often than not, play it safe is like code word for boring as. So, because they don't want to do like sound effects or overlays. They're like, we just want to keep it simple stuff. And I'm like, you're making it boring and I don't like that and I don't want to be associated with that. It's like tears just run down my face, right? So generally when I talk to clients, and if they want to do it in-house, let's be honest, if they want to do it in-house, then do it right. then do it right. And what does that mean exactly? That means actually have your team trained on how to do a live shopping event. That means actually create a workshop, get them hands-on, have them actually do an audit of what an actual run of show looks like, sounds like, feels like, have them do demos and understand the nuances of the live shopping platform, the gear, the tech rehearsals. Not only that though, but the talent. Okay. If you want to do it in-house, that's totally cool. That's absolutely fine. But if you want to get there a hell of a lot faster, then that's where you want to hire a production house. And so for those of you that are watching, this is an opportunity for you, yeah? Because experience driven means that we've done this before. We've walked the walk, we talked the talk, we're showing up on Amazon Live, we're working with Press and Sew, we've got our merch, we've got all the things, right? So we know how it works, how it functions. We watch these live shopping shows and we could say, hey, OMG, this actually works. You might want to try it out in your live shopping event. We know how important it is to have an MC, a master of ceremonies that knows how to hype up the crowd and get them to where it is that you want to do, right? Oh my gosh, Paul just said, Stephanie and Boring are universe apart, galaxies apart, far, far away. You know what I'm saying? Good. Also, when you're working with a production house, we're solution oriented. Now, let me explain to you what that means. It means client can come to me and have the craziest idea, like, Stephanie, I want like confetti dropping from the sky. And I'm all like, well, look, we could probably do like an overlay, or we could do some confetti guns, or we could do whatever it is that you want to do. You just have to let me know how it's going to look like, sound like, and I'll build it out for you because we're solution oriented. We also work with our clients if they are working with influencers or talent, key opinion leaders, and they might not have the gear. Again, this goes out to the crew where we have to understand what this run of show is going to look like, and then we can work within budget constraints and say, hey, instead of doing this, you can go ahead and get the Elgato face cam, right? That's something that I actually share with clients because during the pandemic, it was really hard to get. So shout out to the crew. What? Elgato face cam? That's always very helpful. So you're going to be very solution oriented. You want to let your clients know that you're there to help them be successful. You are there to bring out the best in their guest. Good? All right. So let's go on to this too. We also emphasize on connection. So more often than not, like I said, when I'm working with clients and they're trying to build things in-house, they have to let go of this idea that everything needs to be perfect. They're like, perfection, perfection, perfection. And it's like, honey, it's about connection. It's about engaging with your audience in real time. Does that live shopping platform, does that enable you to show comments? Can you do graphics? Can you do polls? Can you do quizzes? All the different things, right? Oh, see, yep. We love us some Elgato gear. Let me tell you, fam, I recommend to my clients to use Elgato because that's what I have personally used. That's what I have personally set up my 7-year-old when she had to do Zoom school. You know, I was like, honey, this is how it works, right? Because when you're working with clients, you want to recommend to them gear that you can rely on. And when you do that, again, you could send them your Amazon Associates link, your influencer link, your shop, whatever, your kit.co, but at least you know how to set it up easily and effortlessly. So in your mind, I'm already pre-framing this as like, you should know how long it will take you to get your client to set up. The easier that you could like WD-40 on it, then the easier it is to work with you. If you're all super freaking complicated, you're like, oh, you're going to need this and they're like, damn. They're like, hold up. You know, you want to make this a process where it's easy and effortless because when you do that, they're going to want to work with you again and again. Okay? Look at this. I love you guys. Rocky said, I just had a new client fill up on some Elgato gear. She loves it. How you like that? I'm telling you. Corsair, Elgato, ya fam. We're good. Love it. Oh, hey, look at this. Ecamm. More on the face cam here. Elgato.com, Facecam. Yeah, there's so much that I could do this with clients. Just quick plug. I love the fact that you could tilt it and it's easy. And I actually even have this extension boom arm over here for when they want to do product demos. Okay, so overhead shots, make it stupid easy. All right, let's go back over to this. So when you have this conversation with your client, okay, like who am I working with in-house or the production house? You want to talk about the pros and the cons between each one of those. Yeah. So take that into consideration. And shout out to Kevin Cox, who just came into the house. Hello, Kevin. Nice to see you. Coming into the show. That's what's up. All right. Let's also talk about show host, because this is one of those things where I think as a producer, again, remember, you're not just a scene switcher. You are here to help them have a successful live broadcast. You are here because you are a showrunner. So let's talk about the difference between show host and their capabilities. More often than not, when I'm working with clients and it's like an in-house team and they're like, hey, we want to try it out. Like I said before, there's a learning curve. There's budget constraints. There's an emphasis on perfection. And then sometimes if they're doing it in-house, it's like the marketing manager, which could be like the email manager. And they might not have that on-camera presence. Like they're cool, like hanging out in Slack, putting things in ClickUp. Like they're badass as far as like CTRs and CTAs and in the like social media posts and whatnot. But when you have them on camera, it's a different thing. So if you want to do it right, then hire to have like on-camera training, media training, as we like to call it. And that's going to be very helpful. If you are working with a production house, because we're experience driven, because we're solution oriented, because we have an emphasis on connection, let me tell you this, it's easy for me to go into Ecamm fam, into the community and be like, hey, Katie, do you know anyone that speaks Portuguese? Hey, do you know anyone that speaks Spanish? Hey, do you know anyone that's in this specific industry? And they let me know, because then I could actually refer Ecamm fam because I know that you know what it is that you know. Yeah? That's what's so helpful when you are a production fam. All right. Oh, Kev, you came through and look at that. You're so awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. So let's go back over here. The show host too, something to be very mindful of is you can even have a show host that is a key opinion leader or an influencer. The things to be mindful of as a producer is that when you're having this tech rehearsal, like you have to be upfront and you have to be frank. And you're like, does this influencer have an engaging personality? Can they really captivate an audience from beginning, middle, and end? Do they have that on-camera presence? And it's going to be more of an emphasis on trust when you are talking to consumers. Let's talk a little bit more about these key opinion leaders. Yeah. I often find that when I'm working with clients, the brand in and of itself, have a specific product or SKU or lineup that they want to promote. Yeah. Then they've actually worked with a live shopping as a software service platform and they know all the bells and the whistles. And then they want to hire out a show host that is an influencer on Instagram, or they found them from some like influencer agency. You as a producer, you might not actually meet the talent until the tech rehearsal. And in the past, if I was just producing an event, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. These days, I'm like, hold up. Who's your influencer? Let me go check them out on their social media platforms because I want to know what's their studio setup, what's their audio, what's their video, what's their cadence, what's their personality. And then I'll even ask the client too. I'm like, okay, brand, so tell me about this influencer. Did you do like an on-camera test? Are they cool? Because if you wanted them to read from a script, like do they have a teleprompter? Are you going to ship that out to them? Are you going to give them bullet points? Do they know how to say like the specific ingredients in your product? Like those are things that they have to work on. Yeah. So let me see. I've got a couple of cues that came up. So let's see here. Oh, see, hot prayers poetry. You asked a question and didn't put a cue, and then Paul came after you. What's that extension arm? This is the Elgato mic extension boom arm, and it goes on my desk, and it's pretty awesome because I use this whenever I'm doing product demos. So I got that one. Let's see another question in here that came through. I saw Kevin. Did I miss one? Iographer had a question, but I missed it. So, sorry, fam. Can you give us the name of that extension arm you showed? Oh, see, Ecamm, you're amazing. Yeah, it's the Elgato one. The other one is, do you recommend video mock-ups for live selling apparel, yoga clothes, or live models? I would say do both. If you have the opportunity to do so, do both. Because I would generally say, like, well, we don't call them video mock-ups. It would be like B-roll, right? In the B-roll, there's very much like, there's a reason why I wore this. I was feeling feisty today. I was like, okay, if it was like a video, I would probably just like, you know, pan around like, hey, look at this. Here's the fiber. There's like a close-up and all those things, right? And then you would have like your model walk across the room. I think if you had live models, then it's like, hey, when I move this and I do that, then, you know, it's comfy. So there's a difference as far as how you want to do that. Cool. All right, let's see. Let's go back over here then. So, okay, what was I talking about? Key opinion leaders. You want to make sure that there is a casting call or there's at least an on-screen camera test. That's going to be very helpful for you to know when you're having these discussions with clients. Okay, so who's the show host going to be? How many people are going to be on air? Because as you know, Ecamm has that feature, that functionality where you could already pre-select like who's going to be in different scenes and all the different things. Yeah, good. Let's also talk about location, because location is going to be really important too. I, for one, you might not know this, but I do all of my production remotely. I can't even remember the last time that I went on site. I don't even remember. Maybe it was like a year and a half ago, but it's been a while. So even when I did Once Upon a Farm with Jennifer Gardner, and they're like, oh, you know, we're going to do this live shopping event in her kitchen. I was like, just to confirm, I'm still going to be here in San Diego, right? Like, I don't have to like pack up my stuff and drive all the way down there. Like, no, we can do this remotely. And I'm like, yes, because, yeah, you know, that's what I love. And so I think for you as a producer, you want to know, okay, client, how do you envision this, right? Is this going to be happening at a designer studio? Is this going to be in a showroom, a studio, co-working space? Is it going to be in a lab? Are you going to have microscopes or a kitchen, all that stuff? Or maybe just like a home studio, like my spot over here. Or like even like docs. My goodness, like in the Ecamm fam, y'all got some really really good stuff. Keith, for sure. I need to start blocking him on Facebook. Keith, and I'm just like, dude, I don't need to. And Kirk, y'all get me in trouble sometimes. I'm like, put that credit card away. Do that, because what happens?
Emotional damage.
Right, it's like my credit score. All right, cool. So it's helpful for you to know the location, because that's really going to help you as a producer understand the dynamics of the production, right? Like, how many products are they going to be demoing? Are they moving to different stations? Where's the freaking outlet? What's the lighting going to look like? All that stuff. And that's going to be really helpful. Shout out to Paul Duncan again. He says this is the arm that Stephanie was talking about, the Elgato Wave mic arm. Yep. Beautiful. That thing is brilliant. And even sometimes too, when they ask about lighting, if they don't have like mirrors in their office like I do, I also recommend the Key Light Air. Now, when I mention these products, like this gear to clients, I usually just send it to them in an email. If you have a fancy like PDF that has all your links in there, that's cool too. I have other colleagues of mine that actually send a studio in a box with those pan tilt zoom cameras. They get super duper fancy. I keep it simple. Good. Wait a second. I know, right? I think just being a part of the Ecamm fam has a warning. Oh my God, I need someone to create like an overlay that goes, warning, sound effects that does all this stuff. And then that would be helpful. Good. Tanya Smith is taking mad notes right now, because you know that's how we do. Always dropping all the good. Let me move this over here, because I had to shrink some of those comments. Okay, cool. Let's go back over to the slides, because I want to make sure that we are, it's 11:34. I told you. Okay, so here's like the big part. Tanya, if you're taking notes right now, like this is going to be like, put a big fat star by this and highlight this. So you want to have a creative brief. Let's talk about what a creative brief is. It gives you a high-level overview of what the project entails, And so I generally want to know, tell me about the company, tell me about the products, give me some background. What's the objective here? Who's the hero of this live shopping event? Because KOL, hey influencer, I know you're super badass on whatever social media platform you're on, but the hero of this live shopping event is the product, right? And how that solves a problem/solution for the consumer. So I want to know what the objective is. I want to know how many products we're going to be promoting. I also want to know about your audience. What is this consumer demographic? Do they know Uncle Roger, right? Because if they know Uncle Roger, then cool, I'm going to throw in that sound effect. But if they don't, then, there might be some stories, some metaphors that I might plug in for a different kind of show. I also want to know what the key messaging is, because when I'm reviewing their run of show, I have to tell them, like, okay, you're going to have to say this 3 times for it to really stick with people. Like, remember I said earlier, ecamm.tv/live selling? That's where you go to RSVP for the show. Because if you don't know, then you can't go. So ecamm.tv/live selling. So knowing the key messages is going to be very helpful, because already for me as a producer, I can start thinking in advance, okay, what are the overlays? And when I say overlays, it's not just the lower third graphics, but do we want a full graphic for this? Do we want like some animations, some transitions, some music, all of that other stuff to get people in that buying mode? Good. Then I also want to know, like, what is the brand voice? Because that's really going to help me understand what kind of music do we want to play in this, right? It doesn't make sense for me to like put like some crunk music in here if that's not the vibe of the show, right? I also want to know the brand guidelines. And when I say that, like, what's the treatment as far as the fonts? What are the graphics? What are the colors? Yeah, and this depends on you as a live selling producer. Do you want to produce these graphics for the client, or is the client going to send you their own creative assets for you? Yeah. So brand guidelines, it's always helpful to know that, because even when your comments come through, right? Even when your comments come through, here, Stream Like a Boss with Tanya Smith, I'm like, okay, cool. I like how that looks. I like how that sounds like. It doesn't look like another show that I have on air. Good. Oh, P.S. by the way, show me some love. I'm like looking at the comments. I got 21 thumbs up. Just 21. Y'all, it's been like 37 minutes. I've been going after this. Cool. All right. So creative assets. I generally want to know, when it comes to creative assets, how is this going to look like? How is this going to sound like? What does the sign up process look like? What are the promo emails going to look like? It's not that I'm like super nosy, but I really want to know, what is this experience? What are the stories? How are you getting people engaged? As a producer, I want to be involved in the process as much as possible. Because if you remember, when I talked about what makes Lights Camera Live different from other show producers, is that we're all about integrating. It's an integrated strategy, because I want to know, what kind of analytics do you want? What are some creative? What's the paid media? What's the earned? What's the SEO? And all the different things. Good? Thank you. Yay! I'm getting some love in there. I love it. Good. So, having said that, then I want to know, like, what's the timeline? What's the timeline for all of this? Because depending on how many show presenters that you have, how many products, if they have the gear, if they don't have the gear, what's the timeline for it? Because you as the producer, you have to plan out your tech rehearsals, troubleshooting, all of that other stuff. Yeah? Oh, Katie's here. Katie says, I've been coaching, but hon, you're here, and that's all that matters, because now my life is complete. Yay! All right, so you want to have a timeline, and make sure everyone adheres to a timeline, because as we said before, a good client is a client that follows instructions, and a good client that follows instructions also understands the importance of a timeline. In the creative brief, I also want to know what the software as a service platform that they're currently using. If I'm familiar with it, if it's something like Livecomm, which is like ridiculously easy, same thing with livescale.tv, those are the ones I'm like, good, you're good, I know it. And it's helpful for me, because as I'm planning out and I'm understanding this production that they're envisioning, I already know, like, okay, great. So product is going to show up over here, polls, chats, all the different things are going to be over here. So it's going to be very helpful for me to remember. Yeah. So I also want to know, like, do you have an account manager at the live shopping platform? Because on the day of our production, I know what to do in Ecamm, right? I know how to set everything up, all the different scenes, all the things. But if for any reason I can't connect to a platform, I don't want to be hung up in like, oh, chat bots. Like, I'm not trying to around with that. Like, I want to have someone that I could have their brain on speed dial. I'm like, hey, yo, what's happening? I got the custom RTMP, I got my stream key, all the things. Like, what's up? What's happening? So I want to know the SaaS platform. I also want to know the team roles. I want to know who is the key contact, who's my main stakeholder. Because if something happens, if the influencer just like, hey, just got off a plane, can't hop on right now, I'm like, well, damn, the show is still going to start because the emails, the promos, and all the different things already came out. Yeah. So having that information in a creative brief is going to be absolutely money. It's going to be super duper helpful. When you do all of this too, what's helpful then is to have a storyboard. And I don't know if you remember this from Showrunner season 1, you could still get your hands on how to do a storyboard. This is generally where I sit down with clients. I'm like, okay, so the first thing that we want to do you want to have a countdown timer? Because this gets everyone just to kind of like loosen up a little bit, think about how the show is going to look like, how it's going to sound like, feel like. Maybe they have B-roll playing. So your yoga apparel, maybe you might have people trying it on, all those different things. Maybe you might even have just like people setting up in the background. You could totally do that. So you could have your logo, you could have the countdown timer. And P.S., by the way, my girl Luria has like a bunch of amazing countdown timers that I just hop in there and I tweak any which way that I want. Paula, if you could drop that in there, live streaming pros and their countdown timers, that's going to be amazing. So in my notes, I will generally say, okay, how long do you want the countdown timer to be? Because even when I do the countdown timer, if the show starts at 3 o'clock and it's a 5-minute countdown timer, that means I'm hitting play at 2:55. Then that pushes back how long I need people in the tech rehearsal, okay? So be mindful of all of that. You also want to make sure that if you are providing the audio, make sure that it's copyright-free music. You could also let the announcer, which would be me as the producer, be like, okay, everyone, get settled in, get your popcorn, get your credit card, because we about to shop. You could do that if you want to. Again, you're doing the different nuances for the show. Good. Then we could also have this, is that you could show the client what a solo shot is going to look like. So this, I mean, this is so sly. Check this out. Do you see that person in that storyboard? Dude, that's like legit me. That's my hair, my body, and everything. So sometimes when I'm pitching clients, I'll get their headshot and then I'll just do it like this. And you're like, oh, that looks like me. It always helps with the sale. So you could do scene 2, which is a solo shot. You could tell them, okay, this is where it's going to show the live viewer count over here. So I wouldn't put anything over here. So you may want to put like something over here by the product, but just make sure that you don't move your head over it. Otherwise, you're going to have like, boop, all up on your face. Okay, so you just want to show them the placement of it. This is why I told you earlier, it's very, very important for you to know which live shopping platform that they're using. If you're unfamiliar with it, then just set up a demo and be like, hey, I have a potential client that's interested in using your platform. I'm going to be their producer. I want to know all the different nuances about what's capable on your team. Good. So that's going to be scene 2 is your solo shot. The next piece then is going to be scene 3. It could be a solo PDF, basically what you saw on the other screen. Depends on what it is that they want to do. I've had this with clients where they would show like facts because every claim that they had to make had to be approved internally and by legal. Okay. Oh, look at this. See, Ecamm. Grab these storyboard templates here, ecamm.club/showrunner download. Boop, 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 boop. Thank you. You're the best. Okay. Oh, Shariva, you're new. I haven't met you before. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you. How you like that? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so then you have all these different things that you can do as far as solo and PDF. And then you could do a host and the guest. This is great if it's going to be, you have your show host, but then they're going to be interviewing, let's say, a data scientist, the person that designed it or whatever it is, but you could have them side by side if they're doing this both remotely. If they're in the same location, kind of like what I had for Once Upon a Farm, then you're like, okay, well then tell me who's going to be on the left and who's going to be on the right. And you have to be specific too. You have to say who's going to be on the camera's left and on the camera's right, because then you're already going to prepare your scenes in Ecamm of like where the names need to be. Yeah. And when I say the names, I'm talking about like the lower thirds. Good. Great. So then the next thing that we have here is going to be, okay, maybe it's the guest and the PDF, or the guest, let me go back. So I've also had one where it was like a B-roll footage, and then the guest with a camera overlay explaining what was happening in the video. So those are other things that you can do. Check this out. Yuvi's in the house. Hey girl, love to have you here. So that's gonna be scene 5. These are all things that I talk through with clients of like, this is how many people that we can have on there. And again, you could download the storyboard. Ecamm just dropped that in there for you. What most people do is that sometimes they'll just send over like that PDF of like, these are all the different things that you can do. But when you're on this pitch call, I actually, because in Ecamm, you could go into demo mode. You could just go in here and just be like, let me show you how I set up all my scenes. So now you guys see my whole entire scenes. I'm like, oh, let me show you what I do. I got solo, May, June slides, blah, 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 blah. And I just show them like at a click of a button, I could do this for you. And they're like, what? And I'll go through the actual scenes for them with the placeholders already in there. Thank you, Ecamm. I'm telling you, it wows them. They're like, whoa, I didn't even know that that was possible. So then that gives you an opportunity to go all out. So you guys saw that. Yeah? Good. We've got SD in the house. That's what's up. I love it. And living well in San Diego. Oh, Marie! That's my girl, Marie! P.S. by the way, she just dropped a new YouTube channel, so say what's up to the girl. She's out there doing things. Oh, and it was her birthday too. So everyone, if you could just say happy birthday, Marie, in the comments for me, yay! That would be amazing. All right, good. So we talked about the creative brief, and what was I just talking to you about? The team roles, that was the other one that we had talked about. The integration is the other one that I had shared with you. Oh yeah, we talked about storyboards. Good. So once you have the storyboards pretty much squared away, the next thing that you want to do is start working with the client on the run of show. Right? So once you have that creative brief and you're like, okay, so this is what we're focusing on, yeah? This is the product, right? And then you've also decided upon like, okay, what's the best gear that you want to have? Even sometimes when I'm working with clients, I show them the difference between how does a Sony ZV-E10, how does the quality of this compare to this? And for those of you that have multiple gear, you could just have your different camera overlays and be like, here's camera 1, camera 2. You could have it side by side. They're like, dang, how'd you do that? The more visual you could get with your clients, the better, I would say. So the next thing that I want to share with you is going to be the video script maker, because this is game changer. This is actually how you help your clients develop their run of show. They could do it themselves, or you can help them out. You get to decide as a remote live video producer, as a live selling producer, if this is something that you want to take on. But this is generally what I walk them through. So you can find this at lightscamera.live/script and get your hands on it. This is how it works. So we say, what's the show time? What's the show intro? What's the name of the show? I have them pretty much fill this out of what it needs to be done. And then if there's going to be a guest, right, they check this box and they put in the guest name, the guest bio, kind of like the little things that they want to have in there. If there's not a guest, then you just uncheck it. The next thing is basically, what are the 3 bullet points? What are the 3 things that you want to happen in your run of show? And so I have them put that there. And then we say, what's the closing? You're going to have them subscribe. What's the CTA? For a live shopping event, it's really going to be, hey, this is a one-time deal. This is exclusive to you right now. Go ahead and use this promo code, because then that's how you know that it actually works. Yeah. Then we go into Video Script Maker, which is this. And what it means is that this will actually auto-generate prompts that you can use in your run of show. What that means is that I have different categories. I have a hook, a bumper, an intro, an opening, a teaser. How do you actually say hi to the audience? The quote of the day, the guest intro, the main questions, and the setup and all that other stuff. This is a typical run of show that I have with clients. As they're writing it out, they don't know what it is that they don't know. They don't know how to script things, and so this helps them out. So every time I click and unclick this button, it will give me a different prompt of what they can use. So for example, a hook could be, are you struggling with live streaming? If you're sick and tired with fumbling with crappy quality on your smartphone, then now's the time to check out Ecamm Live, right? Boom, and then bumper video, whatever that's going to be. Welcome back to Lights Camera Live, where we shine a spotlight on the best and brightest marketers in the industry. We're live, boom, 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 right? And it walks them through the entire thing. If there's a prompt that they like, then you basically just copy and then paste special values over into the draft, so that way they could flesh it out a little bit more. Does that make sense? I'm gonna take a look at the comments. Oh, you're saying happy birthday to Marie. Yay! Love you guys. Got it. Yes, grab the script maker. Oh, see, Marie, she's fam. She said, script maker is one of the best tools I've ever used. Such a time saver. That's right. Okay, so once you have this, like I said, every time you check and uncheck this, you get a new hook, a new opening, a new teaser, all the different things to really engage the audience. And let me tell you, clients are usually so stressed out already about, oh, if we're going to promote this product and it's a product launch, I'm worried about the sales. Oh my gosh, I've got this key opinion leader or this influencer that I now need to get down pack. And they're like, now I got to think about the run of show. If you as a producer come equipped already with Video Script Maker and you're like, hey, I could help you out with this, just fill in the blanks. It's like Mad Libs, right? Then it's going to be a game changer for them, right? Oh, James, I bought this Video Script Maker from Dr. Lou last year. It is true. Yes, get the Video Script Maker. Okay, because it makes sense, because it's easy. I don't want you sitting there having to be like, oh, okay, so what's the next transition? What are all those different phrases? This is important because, again, if a client or the show host isn't used to live selling, they might not know how to transition from one segment to the other. If they're interviewing somebody else, they might not know how to elegantly move from one topic to the other or how to greet the audience. And this pretty much sets them up so that it's all out there and it's good to go. P.S. by the way, James Hicks, Marie, whoever else has Video Script Maker, if you do absolutely love it, hit me up because I do have an affiliate for it too. So you might as well get some change. Good. All right. So once you have that, once you've pasted it over into the draft, then you actually have your run of show. You enter in your start time, and then it will automatically calculate the different durations for each of those segments. Now you have your story, which is pretty much, okay, this is how it's going to flow. For you, this is where you're going to have the notes, you're going to have the graphics and the audios. When I'm working with clients, generally what I do is that I'll just go ahead and print this out and share it to them, and then we're all good to go. Everyone knows that we're on page. We go through this in the tech rehearsal, and it's Gucci, baby. It's all good. So those are the things to be mindful of when you're working with clients, when you're working with talent. There's other things that I wanted to share with you too. Let me go ahead and make sure that if I have other slides in here. So we talked about this. Let me go back over here. So remember, in your client onboarding, there's pre-production. Everything that I just told you right now is straight up getting started pre-production. Okay. So we talked about understanding the benefits of a creative brief. I want to be a part of the process. I want the client to know that I'm a strategic partner and I'm taking all of my experience in marketing to understand, okay, let's make this show successful. How are you taking what you typically do on social media or what you typically do in emails and transform that so that it actually makes sense when you're doing a live shopping event, okay? So we talked about client onboarding. If you remember, also a studio diagram, this is going to be very helpful for you. This is a typical one that we have like in a home studio, right? If you know already that for your client, they're going to have multiple people, then create something else like this for them. And you're like, when I was working with one of my clients and they're like, well, we have several products that we want to show them. I'm like, okay, well, here's something to be mindful of. If you have all of it staged like right here, and if you have someone who gets really passionate when they talk just like me, and I talk with my hands, I might accidentally knock stuff over, right? So maybe it makes sense for me to like line it up in the background. Yeah, then I could just point to it. Then it's easy. That's also something you want to do in tech rehearsal where you're like, hey, know where you're pointing at, okay? So you could do that. You could do this. Do that with your studio diagram. That's going to be really helpful. It's sometimes too, if I know that they're going to be doing a product demo, then I don't really have a mic set up like this. I actually tell them to use the Rode Wireless Go. For one person, I just say just get the regular ones. But if you're having two people on the show, then get the Rode Wireless Go 2. And then I send them the instructions of how easy it is to connect it to their desktop or their laptop. You get what I'm saying? So that's that. If it's something where they already have a mic arm, then again, like I said before, I'm a big, huge fan of Elgato. And so I just give them the wave mic because I'm like, boom, boom, tap, tap, tap. What's really great about this is that one of my clients actually got everything that I referred. And so now when they're working with different influencers, they just put it in a really nice box and then they ship it out. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. Valerie's like, Stephanie, you just live sold me and I bought the video. Yay! That's what I'm talking about. Hit you with that. It's useful. It's helpful. Do whatever it is that you want to do with that, because that's going to help you with your live shopping, with your live selling. I think there was another one of you that's going to do your yoga apparel. It's going to help you plan out your run of show. Yeah. And when you're planning out your run of show, when you're doing different demos, again, like I said, you might need one of these if you're doing an unboxing video and all those different things. Cool. All right, let me go back over here. You guys are already shopping in and of itself. Okay, so you want to have the studio diagram and understand that. Other things that I'm going to tell you is that even when you're getting started and working with your clients, you want to know about this key opinion leader and this influencer. I told you about like having the product in front of you. Other one is if they're standing, recommend, okay, am I the only one that does this? I'm not the only one that does this. But you know how like in the, oops, sorry, my bad. Premature clicking. You know how in the kitchen, when you're washing the dishes, at least I wash the dishes, you have the kitchen mat that you stand on. Depending on how long your run of show is going to be, if they're standing, I would absolutely recommend one of those, because I'm like, babe, you ain't got to be in those 6-inch heels right now. If you want to just chill and kick it, get one of those, right? Or the other one is like, are they going to be seated? Is it going to be one of those bar stool chairs? If it's going to be a bar stool chair, then I'm like, homegirl, you might not want to wear like a short skirt, because if you're crossing your legs, ladies, we all know this, right? But even so, like if I'm working with a gentleman, I remember there was this one show that I did with Doc Rock, and they were talking about tips that they have for men on how you want to build relationships with your client and really understand what are they trying to achieve with this live shopping platform. I also want to make like really, really good relationships with the live shopping platform, because if I can really highlight the features and the functionalities and help them drive sales with their client, then I know that they're going to refer me for their next live shopping lead, right? So that's going to be super helpful over there. What else do I want to tell you? OMG. Okay, so if you haven't done so already, the next show that we are going to have is going to be next Thursday, May 19th, how to script your live selling stream. So for those of you that already got Video Script Maker, I'm going to show you a couple other things that you want to make tweaks to. But if you already got Video Script Maker, you're already like 100 miles per hour ahead of everyone else. If you haven't already put this in your calendar, head on over to ecamm.tv/live selling, because I'm telling you, we've got 6 more weeks together, and I go all out. Then we have live selling tips, producers checklist. You're absolutely going to love that. And then in June, we're going to do trends and what you can expect. Live selling extravaganza for those of you that are really, really interested in Facebook live shopping. We're going to do that with Press and Sew. Then we're going to talk about pricing your services, because let me tell you, when you come correct, when you come right, you come through with your creative brief, your run of show, your pricing calculator, all your scenes already set up in live demo mode to be like, boom, look, honey, let me show you how it's done. They're going to be like, take my money. Good. 16th is going to be Showrunner Live Selling Roundtable and Workshop. That's where I'm going to invite my friends and you showrunners to get a front row seat on how you can use these actual platforms and ask them, get demos. Ask them like, hey, if I show up live, what are you going to do for me? Make it a win-win. All right, if you loved today's episode, give me a thumbs up. Hit me up. Let me know. Okay, because we've got a lot of things going on for you. I also want to know what questions that you have, because who knows, maybe we'll have another showrunner right after this. Katie says, take my money. Girl, that's right. That's right. That's how we do. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, get your storyboards, your creative briefs, start thinking about that. And from there, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in, because I absolutely appreciate it. What? Shariva says that she can't wait for the next one. Let's do that. Thanks, friends. I'm going through in here, seeing if I missed any. Oh, Shariva, right? Look at all that. Girl, I did all that. No. I love it. Pricing calculator? Yes. Yeah, you saw Bradley. All right, friends. I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much. Take care.